Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're having a fantastic day. If this is your first video, I really do appreciate you giving this a chance. Now, normally I'm a contrarian about most everything. So I have to say, it makes me a little uneasy to be agreeing with so many people about the need to fire Christy Sides yesterday. But I guess that just shows you how bad she has really been. Now, for those of you that don't know, she's never been a head coach until she got the fever job. Now, I'm not saying that in and of itself means she won't be a good head coach. Okay, so don't get me wrong. I'm sure there have been, I mean, you have to get your first head coaching job at some point, right? But after being a coach for a long, long, long time and never having been a head coach at any level, that does make it a little trickier because while you learn the ropes as an assistant, and you learn all these different aspects of coaching and you learn it without the responsibility, that's awesome. But if you haven't had all the responsibility at, say, a lower level at some point, that's a huge, huge adjustment to make at the level. I mean, she's been an assistant coach for a long time, many different places. She's been all over the world as an assistant coach. She's got a long resume, and she may very well be the world's best assistant coach, period. But it doesn't seem like, having never been a head coach at another level, that just being an assistant has given her the tools that she needs to thrive as a head coach in the WNBA. I mean, where to start? We can start with the offense. The offense has no identity. I I think I've mentioned that before. Many people have. I've seen you talk about it in the comments. Their offense is basically kind of spread it out and let's hope something happens. From time to time, we'll set a pick for Caitlin Clark, usually with Boston, and that's about it. And I'm going to get to that later in the video because that in and of itself has been a big problem, actually. Well, let's talk briefly about the Connecticut game. I think a lot of people, because of what a blowout it was, and then Side's comments about effort, and Caitlin sitting almost the entire second half and only having 10 points, people forget that with about 3.5 minutes to go in the first half, Connecticut was only up 39-31, and Clark was 3 for 6 for 10 points, right? All her 10 points came in the first half. So it never works out evenly, I know, but if think about that, she was on pace for a 20-point game. She was shooting well. Although, again, Caitlin Clark only taking 6 shots and a half is ridiculous. That is part of the problem. Mitchell is a huge part of the problem. Sides doing nothing about Mitchell goes, again, to her coaching and leadership. Now, it was a 20-point game at halftime. So that means in the final 3.5, it might have been a little more than that. It was under 4. We'll just say call it less than 4 minutes. Connecticut went on a 16-4 run. Let me ask you something about that run. Did Christy Sides ever call a timeout? The answer may shock you. No. No, she doesn't. She never stands up for her team over on the sideline. She's constantly throwing the team under the bus, more specifically Caitlin, but she does it to the team. She's very passive aggressive with the media about her team. She never takes accountability for anything that goes wrong with this team, or she puts it on her players. And this was a huge red flag for me early in the season. I don't know if you all remember this, but looking back, it's an even bigger deal after a preseason game. I believe it was Atlanta back in early May. Sides came out and said, now remember, Caitlin Clark, the leading all-time leading scorer in college basketball history. Number one in the draft, right? So Indiana and this coach drafted her. After a preseason game, Christy Sides comes out, and instead of having, I mean, I think she's wrong about what she's saying anyway, but instead of having this conversation with the player and leaving it at that, because it is a coach player conversation, she comes out to the media and says, quote, I think she's used to some shots that she's taken in the last few years that are just those deep shots. She's going to get open looks. She's got to figure out. I gave her a rule the other day. She's got point 0.5 seconds to make a decision, end quote. And then we know how later on she actually doubled down on that with this nonsense about taking long twos. Why you would ever want Caitlin Clark to take long twos, or any player really to take long twos, I have no idea. Why you would draft Caitlin Clark and then come out and say you don't like her taking these deep shots, which is what she's known for. It's not the only part of her game, but it is what she's known for because it's exciting and fun and it's never been part of the women's game. But you come out and say we don't want that, but we're okay with long twos. It's just really, really poor leadership, poor decision making to go out and talk to the press about that, and just poor coaching, I think, and understanding the game to draft a player whose primary talent is something you want to stop. That's weird, right? Why even draft her? We know recently that she shared Caitlin's text to her about the Olympics and waking the monster, which again, that was a private moment between coach and player and should have been left at that. Instead, Christy Sides comes out and tells the public almost as if she wants to give the rest of the WNBA more ammunition. Like WNA might be more accurate. I'm not seeing the basketball part from what I've been watching, but it's almost like she was again throwing Caitlin under the bus and trying to give the rest of the league even more ammunition to go after her, and then to follow that up with about they woke the monster to then bench her for almost the entire second half in her next game. So all these weirdos and trolls and racists can scream about how bad she is because she had 10 points, which again, she had 10 points in the first half on only 3 of 6 shooting. 10 points on 6 shots. I'll take it. And of course, it's gotten worse from there. Look, and this will go back to the screen thing. Boston and Clark can't play together. They simply can't. Caitlin is a high pace, get the ball in transition, teammates getting up the court and getting passes to them for easy layups, pulling up in transition and taking that three. And Boston is the slowest, most plodding, feet in concrete player I have ever seen. It is unbelievable. She can't set a screen. You watch those so-called screens, those high screens in the pick and roll. Terrible, terrible screens. And it's pointless to get her the ball 20 feet from the basket anyway. Doesn't make any sense. If you're going to run a pick and roll, it has to be set up. The screen has to be set properly and hard. Caitlin also does have to go off of it properly, which I can't tell if it's necessarily her or not because the screens are set so poorly. I don't know that she has the opportunity to rub off the screen the right way. But Tammy Fagbenle would be a player to do that when she's back. Melissa Smith, she's been iffy on her screen setting too, but again, good coaching should emphasize that. Here's how you set a screen. Here's how I want you to send it to set it, and then run Caitlin off of it. I think if Melissa Smith understands exactly what her job is on the screen and where to go to get the ball after, I think it could be very effective. Hey, where's Celeste Taylor been all season? They've been lacking defense, and she balls on the defensive end. She also ran the court like nobody else but Fagbenle has done and catches the ball in running full speed and makes that layup. Gets herself under control very quickly and makes that layup. Absolutely fantastic. You're a terrible team. You're the worst team in the league, second worst team in the league. Why is Celeste Taylor riding the bench? Why are you going with the same stuff over and over again that's not effective? I don't get it. I do not get it. Thank you for checking out this video. Please like and subscribe if you've been enjoying the content. And also, especially comment below. Let me know what you agree with. Did I miss something that's another reason that she should be fired? Am I being too hard on the coach? I know sports are very emotional and people react emotionally and quickly, and a lot of times that means overreacting to things like, oh, well, this player sucks, you got to trade him, or this coach sucks, got to fire him. So I understand that that does happen. So, am I being too harsh on Christy Sides? Let me know that in the comments as well. Again, thanks for checking this out. Please like or subscribe and subscribe. Or what am I saying? Like and subscribe. And I will talk to you later.